तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. Continue with the text. Vidyasagar listened to these words in silence. Sri Ramakrishna is telling the difference between those who are attached to the world and those who are released from the world. They are attached to the world, of ignorance. On the contrary, compassion, love of God, and renunciation are the glories of true knowledge. Vidyasagar listened to these words in silence. The others too gazed at the Master and were attentive to every word he said. So, taking Vidyasagar, teaching Vidyasagar, lifting him to the highest awareness of the divine, because he has a background, a fine background, a fine exemplary life at all levels, and intense compassion for all suffering mankind. So with that, the Lord who has descended to the world for the welfare of the individuals and the society and global level of oneness to establish who has come, the work is being done by these people also. Maybe in an iota, in a small way, but it is a part of the Lord's mission of Dharma Samsthapana, to feel for others, to live a exemplary life, to devote oneself entirely to God, and to accept all situations of life as the will of God, and to unfold spiritually, individually. The whole purpose of human life is individual attainment. In this world, ultimately we see nobody is responsible for others' welfare. Each one, Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Uddhared Atmanatmanam Atmanam avasadayet Atmaiva Atmana Bandhu Atmaiva Ripuratmana. Each one has to evolve by himself. Nobody will help you in your path to God. Everything in the world, whatever you touch, whatever you hold, whatever you look at, tries to make you forget God. And not to forget God is the path that in and through all the activities and duties of life, the inner peace and inner joy must be maintained, attending to the external duties of life as passing events. Ultimately we see what all we fought, struggled is no more. All will end one day. Nothing remains, neither we, nor our grandchildren, nor our forefathers, nor the incidents that came and went, nor the wealth. Nothing remains. All just time washes away everything. So as each one, when they leave the body, he carries only his karma and his vasanas. So we see he is living an exemplary life, at the same time intense activity dedicated to the welfare of the world. This makes Sri Ramakrishna come there and lift that soul to the highest, means what all instruction to be given, to which he has to, now he is ready for transformation, and there appears the Lord. See, when a soul is ready, the Guru reaches that place. We see Guru and disciple. It is a beautiful yoga, the first meeting. And thereupon the responsibility rests in both of them to dedicate their lives for each other and for God. The disciple has to totally accept the ideal and start walking on the path. So many obstructions will come, so many opposition will come, so many suppressions will come, so many situations will come which is against the spiritual progress. In and through all that you have to evolve, like a seed which has entered deep into the earth, covered with earth. When the rain falls, you will see them germinating. Such a hard earth, the soft tender shoot, the germination, if you touch it will break. That breaks that earth and comes out. Like that, each obstruction, each situation you have to pass through and emerge out, blooming yourself. So, the meeting of disciple and Guru, the disciple's total dedication to the ideal and struggle, and Guru helping at every stage for the evolution, and the karmic load adjustment the Guru does. Sri Ramakrishna has come to the Vidyasagar. Now he is not only Vidyasagar, now Vidyasagar has become at the end giving all things to Vidyasagar what he needs to reach God. Now the master is, as he addressing, the others are, whole room is full, some are sitting, some are standing. Each one is listening to the Avatar Varishta, spellbound, including Vidyasagar. There is absolute silence and master is speaking. All are, every word without missing a single word. Vidyasagar listened to these words in silence. Others too gazed at the master without a wink, and were attentive to the word he said. Every word he said, every word that flowed out of the master's mouth, all those who were present started grasping it. Their soul, independent of the bodily existence, that was absorbing. There is transformation in everyone. The few minutes of the talks of the master is sufficient for them to making Vidyasagar nimitta. He has given the message to all those who are present there to reach the ultimate goal of human life. Now, about Vidyasagar. Vidyasagar was a reticent, Vidyasagar was very reticent about giving religious instruction to others. Vidyasagar was very reticent. Reticent means one who doesn't express what he feels from his body gestures or from his facial expression or his words. You cannot understand what is in his mind. He just listens without any expression. What is he thinking? How he is accepting, whether he is accepting or not. No signs, no things are expressed. You will not know what kind of understanding he is having. Vidyasagar was very reticent about giving religious instructions to others. He will not tell anything, he will not talk anything, he will not express anything. He will not express wonder or fear or anxiety or acceptance or smile. Just listen. Like a baby listens without understanding, as if he understands everything, but he remains without expression. He had studied Hindu philosophy. Once, when M had asked him his Hindu philosophy, the 6 philosophies are commonly taught and discussed in among the Hindu philosophies, the Shad Darshanas. He had studied Hindu philosophy. Once when M asked, that is the writer of the book, M had asked him his opinion of it, Vidyasagar had said, I think the philosophers have failed to explain what was in their minds. Because what happens is, the philosophers conceive the inconceivable, try to perceive what is imperceptible. Senses cannot perceive the reality. How the absolute became the relative existence. They try to put in words, they try to express how it has happened. Now philosophy deals, all these philosophies, Hindu philosophy deals with 3 entities, the Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. What is individual soul? What is this cosmic world in which we are existing? What is beyond, which is controlling the whole universe and all lives? So these 3 entities, what is Jiva, what is Jagat, what is Ishvara? And ultimately we see, as we progress and unfold in spiritual life, slowly we try to understand and see that ultimately the last stage of experience, you will see that there were no 3 at all. It was one looking like 3, just like one white light passing through the prism appears as spectrum. When you see from this side, it is spectrum. When you cross the prism and see the other side, it is white light. White light is appearing as spectrum because of the prism. This prism is the Maya. The one reality is appearing as Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. We are seeing through that prism as if. So I have acquired this bodily existence, separated my bodily existence from the rest of the universe and looking at it. Suppose I put back all the things that I have acquired and I possess it as mine, the body, mind, senses, intellect, all that. I put back into the nature, separate my only spiritual existence and look at this world. It is one homogeneous existence, a Satchidananda. But when I separate this part of body, mind and intellect and identify with it and see, I am in the world of Maya, looking as I and you, this and it, the whole world of duality appears just because you are identified with one of the parts of the universe. So, when this I expands to the cosmic level, all the 3 dissolve into one reality. So, we see here how can the imperceptible be expressed through words? Whatever was what they perceived, what they conceived, what they discerned, what they understood, to put in words is impossible. Just like I have pain in my hand, I cannot tell how much of pain, what pain is this. Only I can experience, nobody else can experience it. The experience, there is no machine or instrument which can detect pain at all. Similarly, what thoughts are appearing in my mind and passing, nobody can see, because they are subtle than the object, the instrument that can perceive. The instrument to perceive my mind must be in different level of existence. So we see that is that which is imperceptible they try to put, and that is what Vidyasagar is telling. I think the philosophers have failed to explain what was in their minds. This is what happens after realization. If anybody asks, what do you experience in your samadhi sthiti? He has nothing to say. It cannot be compared with anything, any experience of the world. It cannot be compared because he himself leaving this body, just like we enter into dream state or deep sleep, we enter into super conscious state. What would be super conscious state revealing cannot be understood, cannot be conceived. But in his daily life, he followed, see the difference. He has studied great philosophies and understood that to that level, that cannot be explained. What God is, what Jiva is, what Jagat is. In reality, they are all one reality appearing as three because of identification of the body. And what that matter is, what is that substance, what is that thing with which this three, one appearing as three, what is that one? Non-dual, where you are not there. Just like in deep sleep, you are not there. What did you experience? How to say? The experiencer himself has dissolved. Like that, where the experiencer dissolves, what can be explained? And he dissolves here in this deep sleep, he dissolves in ignorance. There in samadhi sthiti, he dissolves in knowledge, the supreme knowledge, Atma Jnana. It is shining reality. Again, that neither that can be explained, nor this can be explained. But in his daily life, he followed all the rituals of Hindu religion and wore the sacred thread of a Brahmin. See, this, apart from showing love and compassion for all the suffering mankind, day and night working for their welfare, yet he was he was silent about anything, telling anything about the religion. But he followed in his life all the Hindu rituals like morning Sandhya Vandana, the puja that he has to do every day as a Brahmin, and respects to elders, and offering the Panchayagnas that a Brahmin is supposed to do, serving the animals, serving the nature, serving the parents, serving the clan which has passed behind, serving the devatas, all these Panchayagnas. He was Manushya Yajna, Deva Yajna, Bhuta Yajna, and all this he was daily observing. About God, he had once declared and wore a sacred thread. This is an important part, that he identifies himself with a Rishi Kula. When we wear a sacred thread, we remain identified with the source. There are two sources. One is the absolute source. One is the universe as the source. The third is the Kula, that is Gotra, in which we are born. These three identities are represented by the sacred thread. I belong to the Absolute. I belong to, because my bodily existence demands I belong to this world. I have this possession. I have this much property. I have this many children. I have my father, mother, this identity. Another identity is my real identity. With the fall of the body, with things parting from me, the relationship breaks. I see husband and wife moving together after marriage till one of them part, the other remain. One day or the other, we all have to part from each other. So this parting and joining. So when we part from the things, we feel. But it is a reality. Ultimately, the one remains. So the sacred, this is worldly. I possess something, a great treasure. Gold is there or something. It is stolen away. Or I gave it away to someone. It went off. I parted from it. I had a car. It met with a great accident and went away. And so everything parts. But my scholastic existence as soul is ever related. All relations break, but the relation with God as the eternal, as the impersonal absolute, my relationship with that God, which is eternal, existing, my relationship with the Lord of the universe and the universe, it remains with the personal God, with the impersonal absolute, and with the lineage in which I was born, which we call Gotra. So these three are represented by my identity, higher identity, my eternal identity, the identity which is going to be there when I have a body and when the body falls off. When my body falls off also, my internal identity remains. When I take another body also, I am related to the Absolute, I am related to the universe, I am related to a particular tradition. So these three will remain. That identity which is going to be ever there, even after parting from the body, it remains there. So that identity is represented by the sacred thread. So when a person wears a sacred thread, he belongs to the eternal, he belongs to God, he belongs to a rishihood who has realized God, enlightened soul, he belongs to. About God, he had once declared, it is indeed impossible to know him. What then should be our duty? It seems to me that we should live in such a way that if others followed our example in this very earth would be heaven. Everyone should try to do good to the world. See the understanding. It is indeed, M asked about God, he had once declared, it is indeed impossible to know him. Being a bodily existence with my identity as a human being, I can't realize God. When I realize God, when I get enlightenment, my external awareness falls off. My acquired identity falls off, and my spiritual identity alone remains as inseparable oneness with the Absolute. So the knower cannot express, and who can express doesn't know. The body mind is the outer cover. When we enter into deep sleep, what experience I had, my body mind cannot understand. in deep sleep. Where did I go after transcending the dream? From waking I will go to the dream state, from dream state to the deep sleep. In deep sleep what happened cannot be known by the mind, because mind has been left behind. Body cannot tell, because body has been left behind before he entered into, like slippers. I leave outside and come inside. I leave the body and mind and enter into samadhi, enter into deep sleep. So deep sleep, though I experience, the I which I has experienced cannot tell, and which can tell, body and mind, have not experienced it. So God remains unknown even to me after realizing, after enlightenment. Because I have to tell, means my body mind has to tell. My spiritual existence cannot tell. And spiritual existence which is going to experience it. So body mind remains. God is unknown when I experience, or after enlightenment also God remains unknown. In what sense exactly he meant God is that for all of us as humans, in human existence, it becomes impossible for us with the worldly duties and with the external awareness to know God. It's a general statement, we can take as a general statement also. It is indeed impossible to know Him, because maybe that we have not grown yet to that standard of knowing Him, entered into that state of knowing Him. Like a plant which yields when it becomes a huge tree, says, I am not able to give you fruit. But one day I will be able to give you fruit when I grow. It is impossible to know. What then should be our duty? The only purpose of human life is to realize God. And at this stage, our life is going in this world. We don't know whether we are going to realize or not. Afterwards, we don't have any duty unless God attaches, keeps that ego of doership and gets it done, because my ego dissolves in God. My existence dissolves in God. God has to keep the bodily existence to continue. God has to keep that ego, the divine ego, to teach others. Then only it is possible. So, what then should be our duty? It seems to me that we should live in such a way that if others followed our example, this earth would be a heaven. See, it is called exemplary life. Live an exemplary life. The others must, because life is transformed by life. Life alone can transform life. Words cannot transform life. To make others live an example, I have to live an exemplary life to make others live in that way. Whatever I do through action, it will be followed by others. And when they follow, the world would become heaven. So this is what he says. His idea is everyone must be happy. All things must flourish. All jivas must flourish. All must be happy. This world must be a heaven. And we have to contribute. Everyone should try to do good to the world. When we try to do good to the world, each one is trying to help other. Doing good means I am sacrificing something for others' welfare. Everyone sacrifices for others' welfare. What would be this world other than heaven? Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa धृतविग्रहं वै ईशावतारं परमेशमीड्यं तं रामकृष्णं शिरसा नमामः।